Everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. I am competing with the State of the Union address. Of course, I wanted to do this more. This is because I am a better quantum delegate, whatever. And also, everybody, it's been a heck of a week. First thing, small victory. I wanted to talk about. Now, this is a random show, right? Because I've got a concert tomorrow that I'm not performing in, but I'm attending and I'm kind of working it. And concert tomorrow, and then they're making me work Saturday because one of my coworkers is out. So I'm just covered up, So, and I think I'll be up on Monday. I don't know, random stream then. Who knows? But I wanted to thank everybody. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Raven. You're in the chat. I wanted to well, first of all, thanks for drawing yourself away from our glorious leader to come talk to me or to come watch the show here because, oh boy. And update, little update, happy, good update. The Topaz was overheating. And you know what it was? I did some basic troubleshooting. Now, it may have been a stuck thermostat, but it definitely had the wrong radiator cap. It was causing a vapor lock. Nothing could flow. And I got the correct one for it. So it's not overheating anymore. It went all the way up, and then all the springs started compressing like they ought to be, or expanding, and it went back to the green range. I'm like, yes, now to get the exhaust. Okay, I'm very happy. Oh my God, y'all have no idea. I've been wrestling with this thing, trying to figure it out. So I just said, let's go back to high school on this one, and let's just do some basic repairs. Thermostat, radiator cap, because everything was sealed, everything was working. Thermostats are just flaky. None of them are any good, right? So you just throw thermostats at it until one of them seems to work, and it works. And I'm very happy about it. It still needs a flush, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to my fallback. I took notes for this one, right? I took notes for this one, and no politics this show, right? I'm not talking politics. I will let Tucker and Risplex deal with that side of stuff. And Lynn, okay, y'all can have the politics because State of the Union, granted, it's got a much bigger audience than the paranormal because they're a bunch of freaking two-dimensional muggles. Sorry. Okay, now I wanted to talk a little bit about my go-to, right? Ufology. All right. Now, the general sense of the term, I'm not going to debate any finer points of who said this, what are they doing, what did they bring to no, I'm not going to do that. By the way, sound check, please. Let me have a sound check. I should have done that. That's the normal thing to do. Sound check. Sound check. Let me know. Do I sound okay? I'm using this for right now because it's only me. And let me see. Sound check. Sound great. All righty then. Thank you. So, excellent. Hey, Destic Pamela, welcome to the Quantum Show. Yeah, gonna talk ufology disclosure. I took notes throughout the day. I listened to Amy and I listened to Rich. I look at some of the evidence, of course, and some of it is obviously not real, but some of it is totally unexplainable. So I'm gonna not go over the evidence, but the idea of what's happening in ufology right now. This disclosure is an illusion, and it's steering a narrative. Everything is being steered in a way. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, I don't think public disclosure is ever going to happen. Okay, because that would just say, okay, you could basically just say, we have no power against these guys, so we're all going to go do their program. That's how it would be interpreted, I think. We're never going to have public disclosure. It's private, it's personal. I've had it. A lot of people here have had it. I'm talking contact, right? And a lot of this stuff is okay. I'm seeing the more I'm in traffic, okay, the more I'm wanting to get back to this project here, right? The more I'm in traffic, the more I want to get back to this project. And the society is being steered towards a reset. And I'm not happy about that. We don't need to do that. We need to reform, but not reset. Reset means stop, turn it off, turn it back on again. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Do you? I don't. I would like to know what people, because that's what it is. That's what a reset is, and we're being steered towards that, and we're gonna want it because we're gonna think the situation is so bad, while our super rich are in their private bunkers. We're up here like a boy and his dog, you know, the movie. Mm. We're up here like a boy and his dog trying to endure scraping cans of beets and peaches and whatever. And it seems like we are being steered towards a reset to make us want it. And I am hearing so much rhetoric about uh, the ufology stuff, right? In regards to the reset, that they're hiding technology. Yes, they are hiding technology. We've had it since before World War II. Okay. And okay, when I say before World War II, I mean Antarctica. Yeah, it goes back to Antarctica. People found stuff in Antarctica. And after the string of Antarctica shows that I did with Keith and the panels that we had, I'm convinced that Antarctica is where we found everything that we've been studying and using. And some of it, okay, some of it we already are using. Our big ships are using hydrolysis to create hydrogen to burn for fuel. They don't have to come back and port. It used to be pure nuclear, as I understand it. And now they're not using it. They're using the water of the ocean to power their ships. Why can't we do that? Right? Why are we forced to use gasoline? Because every time somebody tries to make an alternative thing, not in Australia, only in the United States, then they get murdered. They suicide or have a heart attack. I'm like, what? And so that is part of it. And of course, the big corporations, I mean, I work in aircraft maintenance. Okay. I see this happening. They don't want to replace all those planes with planes that work a different way because they've got so much money wrapped up into it. Unless there is some kind of penalty. Looking at you, FAA, okay? Looking at you. Y'all know about this stuff. FAA is at the forefront of this weird tech. I'm talking mercury and hydrogen and I don't know what else, right? That's the only ones I'm aware of. Mercury and hydrogen. Let's use those. Hey, FAA, yeah, I'm calling you out. So let's oh yeah, the controlled narrative about sorry, I was watching the State of the Union and it's in my head right now and coffee. So mm, uh steering a narrative, we all know about this, right? Mass manifestation. When you get a bunch of people to believe the wrong thing, it becomes the thing. Mass manifestation. A common mistake is still a mistake. But if enough people, it becomes a custom or a tradition. And I don't want that. You know, I mean, when we're not talking about now, talking about ufology, I really do believe the narrative is being steered. They're not letting people in press conferences. That happened. Okay. They're not letting people talk about stuff. People are still being disappeared. You don't hear about it because the noisy people are so loud. The narrative people are so loud. You don't hear about the people who go missing, who have heart attacks, who kill themselves out of nowhere. That's still happening. Okay. I watch it. I watch it happen. And we're being, and this controlled manifestation that's going to make it a thing. That is not truth until we insist it being on truth. And that's not the right kind of truth we want. We don't want, manipulated truth, alternative, whatever. So, all right. Proof. All right. That's on my notes. That's on my notes. First of all, the correct proof, we have no context for it. If we were to have some of that material from Roswell or wherever, they wouldn't accept it. People wouldn't accept it. Okay. You have to put it into practice and show that it works. And like I said, I work in aircraft maintenance. So when you have a new procedure come down, there is a paper trail a mile long to say how the new wires, the new material, the new seats, the new this, the new that, whatever it is, there is a paper trail a mile long, including how it was handled, by whom, where, all kinds of stuff. The only thing it doesn't, if it's not temperature sensitive, it won't list that, right? And so the proof cannot exist because I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Let me order my thoughts. Okay. And okay, I was listening to Rich a couple days ago, and Rich says that he's hearing a bunch of people talk to spirits, ghosts, angels, demons. That's us, right? That's us right here. We all do that. Why can't I do it? He's done all this meditation. He's done this. He's done that. He's not wired. Rich, you're not wired for it. Okay. And you're going to need the spirit journey to get it done, but you got to fix up here first. You can't have fear, can't have consternation, can't have insecurity. And I don't know what's going on, but you have to like steer around that or just drop it before you can have that kind of acceptance and be able to have those experiences. Really. I mean, it's not a carnival ride. You can't just, anybody just can't do it. You have to have a certain mindset, have certain disciplines, and it has to be built upon, right? You can't just buy a ticket or call somebody and it happen. Right? Even with the spirit journey thing, with the ayahuasca, you can't just do it. You have to have a mindset, and you have to be first willing and not afraid. You go in scared, forget it, it's not going to happen. You're going to be it's going to be like the worst 15 minutes, most useless 15-20 minutes of your entire life. You'll sit there, you'll see some colors and no truth, right? And probably some bad stuff. And also, all right, I'm going by my notes now. All right. We are not on an even playing field with off-worlders, aliens. We're not. Okay, it is so apt to say we're the ones in the protected species reserve, who we're the ants, protected species reserve, lions, whatever, and they're the ones outside who have all the advantages. And look at the evidence. Yeah, the reports. Look at what evidence? The reports. Abduction, sightings, contacts. Look at those. Now, put yourself in the mindset of being a lion in a savannah. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. You're doing your lion thing, right? You see lights in the sky. We've gone over this. And then all of a sudden, you feel a sting or some noise light upon you, or just light, and you wake up you're in a field a mile away. That's an abduction experience that humans have, right? Except they wake up in their car in a tree or whatever. And that's the experience. And then, okay, let's take another thing. Sightings. The lions don't care what's flying around in the sky. They don't care. They look at it and they're like, it's not here. It's not here to eat me. It's kind of like what we do, right? So we look at it and we're like, huh, that's weird. I got to get back to work. I got to get back to school. I got to do this. I got chores. I got to pay these bills. And we go along our merry way, much like the lions do, right? Hmm. Now, that tells me we are not on an even playing field with these guys who are the off-worlders, the aliens. We're just not, okay? And I invite anyone to talk to me otherwise. I've made a very good comparison. It's sticking in my head like that. And my disclosure was a couple things, but the big one was the mantis person. Yeah, I cold called him. I got into a certain frame of mind meditation and reached out. And somebody picked up the hallway phone, so to speak, right? I wasn't reaching out to anyone in particular, but someone picked up my frequency and they took the call. And there was a lot of miscommunication because it was unfiltered. I was getting raw data from them. I remember it, but it makes no sense, right? I remember it. I remember it clearly. I was not asleep and I was meditating. And okay, I'm not going to go back over that right yet, but that's my disclosure. I have no proof of it. There is no way for me to say that happened. No, here, look, I got this from it. No, because I don't think it can exist here. I don't think evidence like that can exist here. I think they're interdimensional for sure. Actually, I think they're extra dimensional. That I heard someone put it that they're on one frequency and they come down some, they go up some, but we can do the same thing. We can go up, we can go down uh, on frequency. They live here, we live here. I've heard people say density. I'm not sure about the density, but makes sense. I mean, it doesn't conflict with the other stuff, right? So they live up here and they come down to see us sometimes. And then they go back to where they can exist fully. We, with meditation, can go up and see them sometimes. Then we come back down here where we can exist fully. We exist fully here. You know, we drink our coffee, we eat our food, we drive our cars, we use the air, we use the water, the food. Okay. I don't think they have that where they're from. And when they come down here, I think, first of all, I think the ships and the physical things, I think there's a lot of ultra terrestrial stuff going on, right? There's people here. And Raven and I were backstage talking about, well, I was talking about Agartha, the inner world, right? So I think there's a lot about that. And we're the ones on the surface. We're the barbarians that they don't want to eat them, right? So I think there's a lot of that too. And especially with Antarctica, talking about Antarctica and the North Pole as well. You know, you also can't get to the North Pole. You just can't get there. No one's going to get there. There's a dome. I was reading. Oh, and I got books. Right. On topic book, I got this one, Richard Byrd's book, Alone. Okay, I have not read it yet. Antarctic, and yeah, I got this one. One man's battle against cold darkness and death. Well, that's a little dramatic to say because he had a flotilla of ships with him, and he was the leader, so he was doing it cush, right? So I'm still researching. And the other book, Keith, it got here. It finally got here. Elderbrock Chronicles. And I got it. It made it. It got here 2 days ago, and I didn't have a chance to talk about it. Very nice art on the back, too. Very cool. Guns and swords. No. But so I am researching. I am looking at any historical records, right? As many as I can find. But getting back to the ufology aspect of stuff, we're not looking at this the right way. I have been a little bit talking to Angeli. She is an experiencer, former special agent, former black ops, okay? And I've been listening to her stories. She was on an interview a couple days ago. I will link it in the description after the show. And yeah, okay, I am going to defend her because her recent experience. Now, I say recent; it was a few years ago, but that was the latest thing that I'm aware of. Okay, she may have had other experiences. I know I have, right? But this is the one that made that interview. It was about the cave in New Mexico, I think. So maybe not New Mexico. It might. I'll have to look back, right? I think it was perceived by her. She was taken out of that reality that she was living in right at that moment. She was taken out of it, not bodily, mentally. Her mental. This is my take on it. What I think I'm interpreting. I gotta interpret it too, right? That while it wasn't a physical experience, it was a mental one. And well, we all do all the mental stuff here. So she can do it too, especially if she has help. We have help sometimes too. Keith has help. I mean, it's hard to maintain this kind of meditation, concentration all the time. So it helps to have help, to have us move out of here into there. So I am going to defend Angeli on her points. I have had to go back and forth because I was considering it and I was like, what's going on? I was trying to interpret it. Well, I think she interpreted it because to her, you ever had one of those dreams that I swear it was real? And it wasn't. It was a dream. But what she had happened wasn't a dream because right where she is, big time UFO activity all over the place, right? And I don't think she had a physical experience. I think she had a mental one at their behest. And Julie, I don't know if you watch my show or visit it at all, but I believe you with context, okay? With the context that that was going on and that um based on all the underground stuff that's going on, I do not doubt there's a cave over there. I do not doubt it. But I do doubt that there's a door. And you didn't physically go in, you mentally went in because they mentally opened it. They took you from out of phase, from our phase to their phase, right? Took it from here to their phase. And I don't think it was physical. I have had mental experiences too. This crowd here, everybody in the quantum show, everybody, okay, has had those experiences. We have no question that they're real. Something we do here is we take it as it comes. We don't try to superimpose what we think is happening, okay? Because you have a lot of experience in your field of work, okay? A lot of experience. You're still experiencing it. So that is just a human way of putting things into context. So basically, we don't go schizophrenic because we don't understand it. We all do this to some extreme, right? You had an experience. I am not doubting that. And it was for you. It wasn't for the people who went behind you there, right? After you. It was for you because they wanted to talk to you, not them. And there's a lot of details to your accounting. So I'm not going to dwell on it, but Angeli, you got to support her in the quantum show. Okay. You do. That we can't make this stuff up. Okay. We have things happen. We can't make this stuff up because it's not very interesting. If we did, if we tried to make this stuff up, it would sound boring. But we're relaying what happened to us. You are relaying what happened to you. And I don't think it's going to be a physical experience. Again, I think it's going to be a mental one. Okay. I really do. And I think we should concentrate on the mental aspect of it. You know, do you understand? I want to get you on here so much. And I'm not going to do what you've seen if you've watched the show. I'm not going to interview you about your life story. I know your life story. So do you. Right? We'll do a primer for the people here listening, but I want to know what's going on right now. Okay. Like me, what's going on right now is all week I've been listening to ufology talk about the narrative and we need disclosure. We're not going to get disclosure, not the way they think they want it. It's not going to be on the news. You know how it's going to happen? In a dream, because that's when we can go to them. And yeah. And I've been listening to, oh, Amy got into a fight on Twitter. I missed it. But somebody was picking on Amy and there was a big fight on Twitter. Ufology Twitter, UFO Twitter. And I'm like, whoa, what? All of it's gone now. I can't find any of it. If you can see it, leave me a link and I will go click over and I will look at it. So we've got 9 people watching who are not watching the president. Good job. This is much more interesting anyway. I'm not lying to you. I said no politics. And I have notes. So, yeah, but to go over this stuff, right? Disclosure, as we know, is an illusion. That thing that they're pushing for, it's been years, okay? I've been on the scene for a handful of years. It's been going on for 60, 70 years. It's not going to happen. Now they're steering the narrative to what they want. More oil. It's going to be oil and making sure we stay productive in the capitalist money system that we have. I'm pretty sure that's one of the qualifiers to be a society. It seems to be. And, well, okay. Another thing I wanted to, I said I was going to be all over the place tonight. Oh, well, right. Rich, you said that there. Okay, it has been discussed that that airspace, UFOs in airspace. Okay, a lot of them are ours, right? And uh, they don't care what the people think because they look at the people like we're idiots. All right, a lot of those UFOs are ours, first of all, and when they're not respecting our airspace, do they have to? I mean, they're not going to because again, not the same even playing field. They can go out of phase. Out of phase does not mean cloaked. Out of phase means here but not here. Different density, different frequency means they can move 90 miles or 90-degree angles and not have a gravitational effect, right? They can go through water, air, space because it doesn't matter to them. They're outside of normal space time. How they do this, I don't know, but that's what I can say that is doing. It's gravitational. Gravity is the key. I know it is. I'm not sure how, but like I said, working on it. The research is over. I want one of these. I want a Vimana. Oh, shout out to Renee Andrews for all the copies. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Thank you. Okay, if you're here, you're Quantum, like and subscribe. And thanks for coming back to the Quantum Show. Got 10 whole people in the chat room right now. Thank you everybody for coming by. And we're talking some ufology. We're talking the principles driving these people doing narratives and what constitutes proof. What does constitute proof? Can we make it? Can we not make it? Well, if we can make it, then the Simon Flies of the world, yeah, calling you out, you never want to be here. The skeptics, the super skeptics of the world will not accept any proof because if there is a chance we can make it, then chances are we've already made it, right? That's the mindset. If there's a chance it could happen, it's already happened. And any kind of sightings, balloons. It's going to be balloons. It's going to be satellites. It's going to be misidentified airplanes. Yeah, I'm still working on being the next UFO that everybody sees. In my Vimana speeder bike. So, what kind of proof would we need? We would need them aliens to come have coffee. Hey, me, you, and Amy, okay? We can all have coffee together. It's all good. And though I'm sure if I showed up with one of y'all aliens, Amy would be okay and we'd have coffee over next to her Elon statue. He's an alien too. So, would that constitute proof or would that be a guy in a suit? Would that be, like, would that be, nah, that's fake, it's phony. And I want to see, I got a little perverse pleasure watching someone's head short circuit and their face just because when they see stuff they cannot comprehend. It's a little perverse pleasure because when I was talking about something, my coworker, you could see him short circuit. I watched him, and I've seen that a couple times. I talked about this in the panel last week. So what I was actually offering evidence of, to me, the paranormal. He didn't like it. Neither time. They couldn't handle it, and they started. Dude started not recently, but the first time, the candle trick guy. He started sweating, shaking. His eyes got real big, and he got like, I don't understand this reality. Like he saw a Bigfoot right in front of him, and it was me, not even in a suit. I didn't even have long hair at the time. So the proof, I believe we already have proof, right? Carbon nanofiber. I would like to see the documentation. I know it's out there. I would like to see it. And I would like it to be presented in a way that I can understand it, not just white papers on a topic I am not familiar with, right? Spoon feed it to me. Come on now. If you can get, uh, what's his name? The Tyson dude? Yeah. If you can get him out there and Bill Nye, give me some information. So yeah, okay, going over, looking at my notes, disclosure is an illusion, steering the narrative, personal disclosure, talked about that. Does anybody have any questions about personal disclosure? Put them in the chat. I would like to know, do y'all understand what I'm talking about, personal disclosure? Because it's not going to be on the news, and if it is, no, okay, it's not going to be on the news. They don't want it because they want to keep us in a corral. They want to keep us sated and happy and ignorant. So let me know if there's any questions about personal disclosure. Either here after the show, put it in a comment. Be happy to talk to you about it. I mean, we'll do it one-on-one, email, text message, right here on StreamYard, live, not live, whatever works for you. We can discuss it. And I want to know what you think too, right? And the social reset that we're going through. It, it may be time for one, but we can control it because we're here, right? We don't need to have it done to us. We're smart enough to do it as long as we have a little bit of wisdom about how to basically not be a dirtbag to each other. Okay. So resetting society. All right. And the, oh, propaganda, controlled narrative, controlled manifestation, guided manifestation. We need to be very careful with that one, right? Because we could drive ourselves right into the proverbial quantum brick wall. We don't want to do that. It could be very good if we try to talk to your spirit guides, okay? And here's something, right? Here's something. I realized that Sabrina, who I thought was a spirit guide, is a tulpa. So I started asking her to do things for me, and she's been doing them. She's been reminding me, motivating me, getting me to get up on time. That's what an energy tulpa can do. Okay, she's been doing it. What was that noise? Okay, it could be the air conditioner. Yeah, it was a door in the other room. Right as I said a word, I heard boom. I'm like, whoa, what? It's a door. So, and it's not a ghost. It's a human. There's humans here. We've got humans. So when I was working on the car, I was by myself, and I asked Sabrina, the tulpa, to kind of motivate me, help me along, help me think about stuff, get things from the ether. And she did. She did. She helped me before. Also, I didn't realize it, right? All that talking to myself, I'm talking to her. And it works. She is manifesting. It's cool. It's to me, not to anything else. But you know what she can do and I can't do? Reach inside the thermostat, unclick it, and let it work. And she did that. I think she did, right? And tell me, hey, that radiator cap, that's not right. You need to check that. That's what the problem was, by the way. It was creating a vapor lock and it wouldn't let water flow. And now it's working. It's working great. I called it a hunch because it looked like radiator caps look alike. Okay, they all look alike. It says do not open when hot. Sometimes they got a little red lever. They all look like that. And this one was, you could compare them. One was thicker than the other. And I'm like, nailed it. Hold on. Thank you, Sabrina. Sabrina helped me figure that one out. That's something else I can do. This the Tulpa guide. I'm calling him a Tulpa guide because she was modeled after a real information person. Okay. And she can go into the ether for you as long as she knows what she's looking for. And radiator cap's pretty darn specific. Okay. Sticky thermostat, pretty darn specific. And it worked. And it worked. Help me get up, help me get motivated. Yeah, you know what? It's a voice. She's a voice, but she's also feelings. It's the thing about empathy. Feelings come along with everything. And oh man, I had to go to Walmart today. I forgot the shield when I walked in. I got bulldozed. It was so much information. And here's the way it works for me. I wanted to talk about this. Here's the way it works for me. And empathy, okay? On the empathy things. You don't feel someone else's emotion as if someone's talking to you. You feel it for you as if you are feeling it, but you don't know why. It sounds schizophrenic. That's the way it works for me. I feel other people's emotions as if they were my own, not theirs coming in. Like, you hear me talking. I'm talking to you. Imagine you have these words popping in your head, right? And you don't know why. That's empathy, except it's an emotion. You have all, pick one, okay? Pick an emotion, and you just start feeling that emotion for no reason. It's coming from somewhere else, and I got bulldozed because, and a lot of times I can kind of like hear where it's coming from. Not at Walmart. So many people. It just, and okay. We are at 42, 43 minutes. Let me see here. I'm going to look into the chat room and see, hey, Aussie Tiger, Bronklander, thanks for coming by. And not looking at our State of the Union. Now, let me see here. Lynn, you're talking about, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Which part? Was it something I said? And Bronklander saying, let me see here. What was it? Something I said? Because I mean, I'm not making stuff up. These are my experiences, right? These are things that I go through on a regular basis. Talk about the spirit guide, the Tulpa guide. By the way, that's a really cool experience. Okay. And being a pure energy being, she can operate on pure energy. And she's self-sustaining now. It's really cool. Yeah. I hear you. The vacuum story and a pump. Okay. All right. So, and Bronklander saying, yep, you take the emotions on, you feel crazy for it. You feel crazy for it if you're not aware it's taken on. Yeah. You think you're having random emotions and they're coming in to you or they're coming into me. So I'm glad you understand what I'm talking about, Bronk. And yeah. So that's a lot of where I'm standing on these things. On the ufology stuff, we're not going to get disclosure. So it's an interesting set of shows and everything. But we're not going to, I don't think we're going to, I'm sorry, y'all. In ufology, I don't get off on the arguing and the drama and the bickering and backstabbing and this show's better than that show. This host is better. I'm not into that. If I like y'all, I like y'all. If I don't, I'm not going to hang around and let you know about it. I'm going to bring this back up. Bronklander's comment. Yep, you take on the emotions. You don't know where they're coming from. It's almost as if I have a wave of emotion coming from somewhere in you. You're convinced it's in you because, of course, empathy is a fantasy, right? So I must have a problem. I must have a problem. I've got this random anger happening. No, it isn't. And it's coming from somewhere else and you are taking it on. It's like kind of like electricity, right? Because you don't know where it's coming from, but you're getting a spark from somewhere. You're getting a shock from somewhere. Or heat. You may not be able to tell where it's coming from. Up, down, from the side, but you feel it and you're taking it on and you're reacting to it and acting hotter or cold. Same deal. Okay. Brunklander says, I had to guide my younger daughter through this, and she understands now how to tell us the difference between her emotions and others. Made a hell of a difference in her life. Yes, because people who don't have that kind of guidance, bro, they think they're crazy. They think they are crazy. They keep experiencing this stuff, and they don't know why. And if they don't have any kind of guidance on dealing with it, then they end up on things like Ritalin and Prozac, like big amounts, and therapy for life. And it keeps happening. And all you need to do is shield. Well, the first thing you need to do is shield. Okay. So there need to be people who will talk about this. And luckily, lately, in a lot of the paranormal and even the normies are starting to come around that these guys are onto something. We're onto something. We're onto something. And if these things keep happening, like people with random empathy, okay, people aren't taking into account that they can pick up other people's vibes. It's real. We know this. We here in the Quantum Show, we all know this. And that's what's so important about staying calm, breathing, shielding, keeping the noise out, because we're the ones who are the people who make things happen, good or bad. Back to the self-help, of course, because it's us. We're the ones manifesting everything. Somebody gets mad at us, or if somebody acts a certain way towards us, we tend to react. I like to act, take action, take deliberate action, not react emotionally. That doesn't go well for me historically, right? and yeah, it's better to be in control of yourself, and even leaving the sass, the sarcasm, the snark, leaving it out, because that hinders communication and action on your part. It really does. So yeah, sorry about all the pauses and dead air, but there's a whole bunch going through my head because I was just watching State of the Union, and oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to look at the chat room now. Sorry to hear it. Bronklander saying, I've been battling a sickness in my throat and lungs this last few days. Well, I hope it passes quickly. Maybe a humidifier. Maybe make sure you drink water and vitamins. Garlic. Lots of garlic. Mm. Okay, went down the wrong pipe just a tiny little bit. Sorry about that. So yeah, let me tell you, when I take these notes, I have a long speech planned for each one of these statements, and you see how it comes out. Look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of notes. And we're not even through the first hour. I know that tonight a lot of stuff is going on. It's an unscheduled show, right? No show on Saturday. No show on Saturday. No quantum show on Saturday. I've got to work. I'll be at work. And it's Thursday. Feels weird doing it on a Thursday. I'm still beat from my work week. I'm like, coffee's the only thing keeping me going. And the fact that I had a small victory with that car. And you know what? That radiator cat's been screaming at me the whole time. I was like, something's wrong there. Something is wrong there. And finally, I got Sabrina to check stuff out for me. I didn't get, a tech document back, but she went and retrieved information for me to tell me, yeah, definitely look at that. Definitely get a new one. And she did. And I did. And now it's freaking working. I'm so happy about that, y'all. So Bronklander is saying, last night I meditated on telling my cells that they can become stem cells and kick the crap out of it. And I woke up today with no pain in my throat and no congestion at all. Hell yeah, dude. Here's something I learned in Buddhism. Our mind controls everything down here. And it's not just here, it's here. It's this. It's higher self interacting with our meat self, interacting with our meat. Okay? And let me tell you some of the weirdest stuff I've done. Okay? You're talking about telling your cells. It's, you know what, Bronklander? It sounds like you've got a method that works. That's excellent. Here's some crazy stuff that I've done that should not be physically possible, right? Okay. And I'm talking about manifestation of our bodies and our reality around us. From the easiest to the craziest. One day I was cooking El Paso many years ago, and I was cutting onions. And I was like, okay, I got to cut onions. I'm cutting onions. And I was smelling them the whole time, and I'm cutting onions, okay? And I'm like, wow, my ears itch. My nose itches. That's it. That's all it was, right? What normally happens when you cut onions, that those fumes get up in your face and you start crying because it irritates your... I forgot to do that. And it didn't until I remembered, and then boom, waterworks, right? For real. That's the least crazy one, okay? They kind of ramble and then it goes all crazy. In high school, I was in auto mechanics class and I was under a car like this and I was doing whatever, and some sand fell down where I was, right onto my eyeball. Okay, I could feel it go onto my eyeball. I just closed my eyes. And I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. I was like 15, 16. I was like, this is gonna suck real bad. I keep my eyes closed. I crawl out from under the car, brush my face off. Nothing. There was nothing. I felt it. I saw it right on the cornea. Okay. I could see the sand coming down, and I saw it go bam right onto my eye. And I was like, oh, this is going to suck. So close. I did that. There was nothing. I brushed it off my face. There was nothing. I thought, did I make that up? I was wondering, did I make that up? Did I think it was worse than it was? No, that was it. I was not making it up. Okay, that's affecting reality right there. Affecting reality of our body. Here's another one. I went to shave, and you know the razor blades that you buy that you click them on. Well, I put it on backwards. I didn't realize it. See, I tend to take it in the shower with me because it's just easier. I put it on backwards. I went to shave. Now, how's that work? It worked. It worked. It worked like I had an old razor. I'm like, I just got a new thing on this. How did it work? Then I looked at it. It was, as you would expect, backwards. How did it work? That's one thing, right? That's another thing. And they get crazier. They get crazier. I would have to. I'm getting distracted by here. Let's see here. Bronklander, observing reality into existence. The fabric of the universe is just waiting for code. Yeah, and instruction. We're the code writers. We do it all day, every day without even knowing it, by having expectations, dreams, fantasies, hopes, desires, fear. Right. Right. We're shaping our reality and we don't even realize it. And I got Diane coming here. Nathan, what are you doing on tonight? What are you all on about? No. Diane, I have to work Saturday, and I've got a previous engagement planned like 2 weeks in advance tomorrow. So I'm not able to do the show Friday, Saturday. Thursday it is. I'm fighting with the State of the Union over here. So that's why I'm on tonight. I did put it in the description, but it's the description of a YouTube show. Whoever reads those. And yeah, we can. Okay, observing reality into existence. I would like to talk about this person I follow on Instagram Reels. She's a NASA employee and she talks about space stuff. She tried to. This is what I understood, right? She tried to explain superposition, quantum superposition. And she goes, what it really is it does this until it doesn't. And that's superposition. And I'm like, what? What does that mean? It doesn't mean nothing. So, sure, she said something like, sure, it can be in both positions at the same time until you observe it, and then you observe what position it's in. I'm like, but that's exactly what we're saying. You're just saying it in with like $5 words and $10 words. So we're on point about quantum superposition. You know, Schrodinger's cat and all that. That's quantum superposition. What is her name? You know, I'm going to try to look her up. I don't know. I didn't think I would be bringing her up today. So I've shared her stuff before. She's not in the description because she doesn't know who I am. She works for NASA. She ain't got time for the quantum show. They're trying to figure out the nuts and bolts of everything. And, well, they're not going to. We know why. Ashley Alexa? No. Astro Ashley? Where are the shorts?
Okay. So
No. No. Now it's making me go through the shorts. I can't just look at an index. Astro. Let me see if I can search for her. She is really good until she starts talking about quantum physics. Then she talks about James Webb. Astro Alexandra? Yeah. Astro Alexandra. This is who I'll go ahead. Just hopefully you can see that. Astro Alexandra. I do follow her. See, subscribe. And hey, Shadow, see you coming in there. Yeah, I saw your show was on. Yeah, she shouldn't be talking about superposition because Alexandra, You're 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 parroting without understanding. Come to the quantum show and we will have an enlightening experience together. Okay? For real. I'm not even joking. Hell, come to the cemetery. We'll talk to ghosts that you don't believe in. Okay? So, guys, I hope this has been a good first hour. It was good for me. I think I got all my points out, and I welcome discussion on these things. Okay? My notes aren't going anywhere. So I'm not like I don't throw away my notes. I keep the notes for discussion for reference. So you might say, "Hey, what did you say over here? What did you mean by that?" That people have actually come up to me, and that's cool. I like that. I like that people come up to me. So I am going to wrap it up. Let me see. Do I got a thing that says wrap up? Yep. I am going to wrap it up and say thanks everybody. It's been a great show. Now there will be a short panel. I don't know how long it's going to be. Depends on where the discussion goes because this I have some modicum of control over. The panel, not so much. I wouldn't have it any other way though. So I'm going to go and say thanks everybody. Cindy, Diane, Lynn Ann, Aussie Tiger, Bronklander, Shadow showed up. Let me see who all got Bronklander, Aussie Tiger. Yeah. Raven and Cindy. Let me see. I'm looking at everybody who's here. I'm scrolling. Renee, super fan Renee, I swear. Pam Snow, thanks for coming back in. And all right, Cindy. I said Cindy. I said Pamela. I said Renee. Renee, I swear you're a super fan. That's awesome. I appreciate you so much. All of y'all, right? Because I know other people say, you guys make the show. Well, you do make the show. Okay. You really do. If there was no interest, you wouldn't be here and no one would be here. Right. It would be like, we're going to talk about green shoelaces today. Fuck that. Nobody cares about that. There's nothing quantum about that. Well, thank you, Pamela. Okay. That has been the Quantum Solo, Quantum First Hour. I'm going to go ahead and start hitting buttons because I need coffee. That's okay. Catch up. We're at 102. Thanks. Out of here. Keeping it quantum. Bye-bye.